noting with Flint.
Alright, I'm gonna go out to the field and see if it was done the same way. And then figure out the starting point.
Yeah. You make your way out into the field, and very quickly you come across a small pile of flint, as it seemed that this must have been much harder to set fire to. Also, from the way that the flint is lying on the ground, you quite cleverly deduce that the target must have started fire into the granary, ran out, and then very quickly attacked their piece of flint with their steel as fast as possible to set off these sparks as a secondary fire.
Alright, I'm gonna shout to the guard, see if, well, no, not yet, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm gonna look around for any footprints I might be able to find.
Roll perception for me with a plus 10. Yeah, you notice a set of footprints, both leading kind of strangely to the granary, or you notice a lot of footprints heading towards the granary, but you notice a particular set of footprints moving from the granary towards the field, and then back down towards downwind.
Alright, I'm gonna shout to the guard, see if anyone has a data slate on them, or even, say, some paper and a pencil.
Yeah, no one around has a writing kit. One of the guards pulls out a data slate and asks if that'll do.
Is there any way I can freehand on it?
Yeah, you can just kind of MS Paint draw with your finger kind of on it.
Alright, in that case, I'll do my best to copy the footprint onto the data slate best I can.
Okay.
And then I'm going to start following the footprint.
Alright.
Downwind.
Cool. So yeah, you're going to head back to downwind. Flint, what are you up to? It's about an hour before your meeting.
I'm just chilling out then.
Okay, just going to wait an hour.
No, I'll probably wait like half an hour, then make my way over.
Okay. Sal, what do you feel like doing now?
Alright, so I'm still in the bazaar.
Yes.
I'm going to ask around about the witch, ask what people know about it, where it was last seen, if it has any weaknesses.
Okay. Just roll. How long are you going to spend?
Like another half hour.
Half hour? Okay, then just do a straight inquiry test. Yes, as you ask around, you hear a lot of gossip about the witch. A lot of it is very contradictory. Some saying that the witch is a very tall figure. Some saying that the witch is a short woman. Some saying that she breathes fire. None of this seems particularly useful to you. Although, consensus has it that the witch came on the ship that recently crashed outside of Sanctuary. Beyond that, you get no more verifiable description.
Great. Okay, that's it for me.
Alright. Slate, Merc, let's get to some soothsaying.
How do you want to do trade skill stuff? Because it doesn't specifically say anything about the trade skill.
Yeah, you roll it as your skill, and then you get a modifier based on how long you're going to do it.
And then you just kind of roll and figure out how much money I get from there? Or?
Yeah, and then I will roll to see how much money you get, based on how much you feel like charging and how much the person thinks that you were legit.
Alright. Then I guess I'll look at Merc with a huge grin. These look perfect. I think we'll be able to screw tons of people out of their gut with this.
So even you think this is bullshit?
Oh, of course. But that's all part of the game, isn't it?
I like your style.
That being said, I haven't been around this town very much, so I don't know where we might be able to find the most saps. The people around here live in shanties, so many of them are probably guiltless, unfortunately. Have you any idea where to go?
The only place I've been is the bazaar, and I haven't had much luck with any of my dealings there either. So,
Bizarre.
plus everyone seems to be hustling and bustling, just trying to get about. I don't think anyone's going to want to stop and get their palm read.
Well, that's what these beauties are for, and I'll just start tossing them around on my fingers.
I have a slightly more pressing issue, and then I'm turning to you, Richard. So this is now
Okay.
meta. The market pens, which I would have obviously seen on the way in, because they're the only thing in the wide open area. Would I have been able to notice, like, just roughly the kind of livestock that they keep there? Okay. Like, would I know if, like, they have large or small stuff?
They're all pretty large, like beasts of burden kind of sized.
Okay, so there wouldn't be anything, like, chicken-esque? Like, nothing relatively small?
There would be a
for-
couple, like, yeah, there'd be a small pen with, like, chicken-sized, that kind of poultry kind of stuff, yeah.
Would I
For
have
the-
been able
For the
to,
most part, yeah.
would I have been able to note the human presence at all?
That's very heavy. There's people going in and out of there all the time.
Okay, so it's just because it's on the outskirts, it's not necessarily lower traffic. Okay.
It's obviously where a lot of downwind gets their raw foods.
Okay, and then also me asking you, Salamander had to go out and buy his flint and steel, but would it be possible that Tack has some on him that he'd be willing to let me borrow to, like, start for, like, tea or something, something to boil water, or would he have something that would allow me to do that?
You could ask.
Like, would he have a... Okay.
Role playing.
Okay. Anyways, back into character. So, I have something a little bit more pressing than that. I believe I'm the only person in our entire group who's eaten within the last week. I say as soon as dusk falls, we make our way to the holding pens they have just on the other side of the river and see if we can rustle something up.
I had some combat rations not long after landing, but it has been
Then
a
that
couple
makes
of
you
days
one of the
now.
lucky few. Our comrades are probably still going hungry.
I had more, and then those friendly guards took all of my other rations.
I had enough money to buy
but
some. The guards
That
did
is
the same.
that is an agreeable idea. I might be able to assist in more than one way with that.
Good. At this point in time, I believe we can use all the help we can get.
We should. I think that's agreeable. We should go down and kind of scout out the area and see if I can find a good place for cover.
See what we can carry back between, if no one else, just the two of us.
Also good. Then it's agreed. We'll go over and scout out the place then.
Alright. We'll look for saps tomorrow. We've still got 4 more, right? 4 more days at Tax Place, or is it 5? Because it's a week, right?
It's a week, so you still have 5 days.
5 days? Okay, yeah. So, then, back to work. So, we still got 5 days here to find a sap before we're really struggling for money.
Fair enough. Then we'll walk over.
Alright,
Alright.
so, yeah.
So, Esker, you've now made it to downwind. You have followed the tracks into a little alley, after which you could not follow them any further because there were too many other tracks walking in that area. Became indeterminable.
Alright. Either way, we know that I can guess that whoever lit on fire is either living or hiding downwind, so could I tell what kind of boots or something like that is making the blueprints?
They were fairly large boots, but beyond that, there aren't any real distinguishing marks to them.
Nothing like the tread on them or anything like that?
No, it's a flat tread, like most boots would be.
In that case, I'm just gonna walk back to the cordon at the farm.
Okay.
See if I can find either the head detective or Tempest.
Okay. You walk back and you eventually find Maller looking at the granary a bit more, picking up the small pieces of flint and looking at them very closely.
What's the look on his face while he's doing so?
He seems incredibly focused and a bit anxious, maybe.
I gotcha. Detective,
Yes, arbitrator.
you didn't happen to find the footprints that were leading away from the farm, did you?
The footprints. Yes, I had some men follow them, but they went nowhere.
How far did they follow them?
Just down towards the river, and then they said that they disappeared.
Because I found a pair that led from the burn point in the field to downwind.
Downwind, you say? That's very interesting.
Just to interrupt you, didn't he stop in the alleyways, like underneath the square? I thought he spent the entire night in the alleys.
He spent the night in Downwind's alleys.
Oh, I didn't know that. My apologies. Carry on.
And I actually have the dimension on here. I've handed the Davis Legends.
What did you mention?
I tell him that I have the dimensions of the footprint.
Oh, okay. He takes a look at the data slate and he makes a quick copy over to his own. Thank you, Lady Arbitrator.
You're welcome. Is there any chance Tempest is still here?
I believe he is in the main farmhouse with his guard.
Thank you. I need to go speak to him.
Very well. Good luck with that. And he smiles and kind of chuckles to himself and goes back to looking at the flint.
Oh boy. Well, I'm gonna go to the farmhouse then. Time to bite the bullet.
Alright. First, let's go with Sal. What are you doing? What are you up to?
Okay, so at this point, I am going to look for other people from my group,
Okay.
just to whoever I think is the closest to me right now. Meet up with them.
All right, so yeah, you walk around the bazaar and eventually you spy Blank and Mercury hanging around the pens, the market and stuff, and head over to them.
Hey fellas, how's it going?
Act like you don't see him.
I'll look over to Merc like, do we know him?
Oh man.
Over here.
To play it off cool, like, oh, I just got ignored, but it's no big deal. I'm gonna keep walking. These guys don't interact with me. That's fine. I don't need them.
Anyways, his crazy ramblings aside, we're over here, Sal.
Hi guys, how's it going?
Shh. You're making way too much of a scene over here. Gonna need you to bring it down a bit.
Hi guys, how's it going?
Better.
Better.
We're scouting
little
this
bit low.
place out.
There's a lot less communication going on here than you're presenting, so we're gonna need you to tone it down just a tad. By the way, I apologize, that is supposed to be in character.
Alright, well my character will acknowledge that, and I'll stick with the group, but I won't say anything.
Alright. I'm gonna turn to him and kind of nonchalant, or not turn to him, but nonchalantly just kind of mention forward, but loud enough that he can hear. We'll explain when we get back to Tack's place. Just keep your eyes open for the time being.
Alright.
And try not to draw attention to yourself.
All right. So, Flint, let's jump to you since it's now about the time. You only wanted to spend 30 minutes before heading over.
Yeah.
All right. You make your way into the maze. It is an absurd amount of very closely knit buildings, nearly labyrinthian in their design.
No wonder they call it the maze.
Awnings, overhangs, bridges built between buildings. Everything is very similar. Everything is just a pale plascrete building complex, almost as though it was one building at some point, but you can tell that it's all just hobbled together and redone with touch-ups and stuff. As you walk through, you see a significant amount of fairly well-armed people walking with their weapons openly carried on their person.
Nice.
And you make your way over to the Vulgar Unicorn because
Right.
you like the sound of that name.
I do. It sounds awesome.
As you walk into the Vulgar Unicorn, there's a bit of a commotion going on. There's singing, dancing, ale and beer and amasec flowing freely from the bar. Well, not freely, but flowing quite plentifully from the bar. Some fairly attractive bar wenches going around and taking orders, and in the corner, some small scuffle happening.
Do I see bones anywhere?
You do not see him when you walk in now.
Can I make a awareness check? Or would that
Just
be perception?
unless you think
Okay.
he's going to kill you.
Okay.
You don't see him.
What?
You're half an hour early.
Oh.
Did someone just leave roll 20?
Yeah, I hit the wrong button.
Oh.
Oh, I was gonna make my way at half an hour, so
Ah,
I
so you just
figured
want
I'd
to be
get
there
there.
on time.
yeah.
All right. You just still don't see him.
Okay. I go to the bartender, ask him if he's seen a man named Bones in here.
Ah, Bones, that lazy son of a bitch. Supposed to be here. You're supposed to be back to work a half an hour ago. You see him, you tell him to come and find me.
All right, fair enough. I go grab a empty table then.
After about 5 or 10 minutes, you see Bones kind of jauntily making his way into the tavern. He is quickly pulled aside by one of the barmaids, but not fast enough before the barkeep himself sees him, walks over and begins yelling at him, quite mercilessly. You can't exactly tell what he's saying over the cacophony of noise around you, but you can tell that it is not pleasant for anyone involved. After a couple of minutes, the bartender walks away. Bones kind of chuckles to himself and looks around.
I stand up and kind of just look at him, see if he notices me.
Yes, he notices you and walks over to your table and sits down with you, motioning to sit as well.
Yay.
So, what is it that you are looking for?
Well, I'll be honest. You haven't happened to hear of the ship that crashed not too long ago?
Of course, everyone in town's heard of it.
Well, I was one of the survivors on that ship. And I need a little help, but I think I can help in exchange for some services. So, let me just break it down. We crashed, and as we were making our way to the town, we were approached by some guards who...
He
well,
begins laughing.
I shouldn't say some guards, I should say a shitload of guards, who decided that they were going to rob all of us. Now, I want to get all my stuff back, because I don't know about you, but I love my rifle. And that rifle's mine, and I want it back. And here's the thing. I'm pretty good with demolitions, and I can fly damn near anything military, and I can drive damn near anything that's got wheels. So, if I help you out, maybe you guys can help me out getting my stuff back.
Well, that sounds quite agreeable, but I don't know, man. Taking on the city guard, it's pretty dangerous.
That rifle's worth it, though. It's my baby.
Well, how would you help us out before we get to your stuff?
Anything you need. I'm a big, mean son of a bitch, and I know how to blow shit up.
Well, I could see how that could be handy. Very good. Let me talk to some of my associates. And he kind of nervously looks over at the bartender. Meet me back here in the morning, and we'll see if we can get some work for you.
All right. About what time should I come by?
Anytime after dawn would be good.
All right. Excellent. Well, I will see you then. And then I stand up.
Okay.
And then reach my hand out to shake his.
He shakes your hand and again tries to crush your wrist.
Good. I leave and I make my way to... About how late is it?
Let's see, it is probably like 6 or 7 at night now.
Okay, I make my way to... Let's just go to Downwind.
Okay. Gonna head back to Tax Place, basically.
Yeah, but on my way there, I'm gonna make sure no one's following me or anything.
Alright. Well, roll perception.
Bloop, bloop. Oh.
Doesn't
I
look
don't
like
see
anyone's
anything.
following you.
Ah, cool.
Alright, so who wants to go next? Joanna or Merc and all them?
Let the others go.
Merc and the Mercettes.
Merc and the Mercettes.
That's the
Alright,
official
Mercettes,
name.
what are we doing?
All right. So we've been casing this place out for
It
how
means
long?
out of character, you fuck.
Oh.
How long have you been casing the place?
Roger, you can stop typing.
That's what I was asking. Like, have we just been? Because we spent 2 hours looking for wood, so it was 5 o'clock by that point. By the time we made it back to Tax, and then we spent 30 minutes making the things, and we had to wander over here. So by that point, I'd assume it was roughly 6 o'clock. And we were going to do something at nightfall, but we weren't going to mention it in the presence of Salamander as we were casing it out.
Okay. Well, he just showed up. You're all together right now. What is it that you guys
Did
are
he?
going to do?
How long had we been walking around when he showed up? Like, did he see us walking up to the pens, or?
You guys were there for maybe like 5 minutes before that.
Okay.
Well, of the things we can see, because you said these were beasts of burden, like,
For
how
the
many of
most
them are
part, yeah.
actually like small animals we could kill and butcher?
Well, there's a basically like a little poultry pen where there's some kind of small chicken-like beasts and pig-sized stuff as well. So about 20 or so in their own little cages.
What about the people situation? How busy is it looking now that it's... How busy was it at 6 when we got here? And we'll just say we've spent at least 30 minutes casing the place, but we've been walking a constant circle so as not to draw suspicion by staying in one place for a minute. Like, that's a real nice chicken, man, if I could afford that one.
It's been very consistent. Like, there's been a very high volume of people the whole time you've been there. There's
it hasn't
also
died down at all as starts to get later.
No, it hasn't really died down. Just more people have come in. You also take a note that there is a fairly sizable guard presence. Not city guards, just people with weapons who are obviously there guarding.
guarding their livestock.
Guarding the
livelihood.
livestock and yeah.
Have I noticed any accessible and or decent places I could hide myself? Should I roll like perception for that, or?
Well, it's merely a set of pens and cages. I mean, there's a couple of like kind of caravan like wagons, but
So it's
those
basically
are
like a
used
bazaar,
for-
but instead of having a stall, there are animals behind them.
Mhm. Like there's
Okay.
a couple of like actual wagons they use to butcher animals and sell it, and everything else is like kind of point of service over that. So there's not exactly an extensive amount of places you could hide in that area.
Okay. Are the pens locked, or is it just like they hop over?
There are locked gates for getting the animals in and out of the pens. Yeah.
Okay, but it's like a closed-off structure. I couldn't just hop in there if I wanted to.
You could, yeah, you could jump, you could like climb over it if you wanted to.
Oh.
But,
How high
like,
are they?
Like 2.5 meter high fences.
2.5 meters. Okay.
The
'Cause
chicken
if
fence
they
is
were,
significantly shorter. Like it's about a little
Oh.
over 1.5 meters.
Okay, so it's like chest height
Mm-hmm.
on Mercury at least, because he's short.
You sure?
Well, we could have some fun with that.
So there's no there's necessarily a need to pick any locks unless we're trying to get into like the cattle pen where we wouldn't want to be seen, like 10 feet up in the air trying to climb by the guards, because that might draw some suspicion. Also, it would be a little difficult to push that large animal up over that 2.5 meter fence.
I'd watch
A
that.
little bit. I'm not that good with my mind. Sorry.
I'm not that strong, so I could probably not even tip one.
Yeah, neither am I. The only question I'll ask, while we were walking around, did we notice any particularly aggressive animals in the market?
Yes, you can. There are some groks for sale, and those all seem quite riled up.
Are they in a pen?
Yes, they are.
So
they're in their
not-
own little pen.
How easy would it be to spook them in their current riled up state? Okay.
Fucking roleplay, bro.
I don't know what the fuck a grok is.
Groks.
Groks?
Rock.
Thought it was GROC. Is it GROX?
GROX.
Okay.
Think of it as like kind of a mad, like kind of wolf-sized animal.
Right. Then I'm gonna make a motion to blank.
Actually, I think that might be a little bigger than that. But yeah, anyways, go on.
Oh, okay. Where would be
It's
the nearest
347.
place, like, what?
For
Mhm.
Richard.
I'm looking. I'm already on it.
Oh.
But- Go on.
Okay. Well, I'm asking Richard because I'm not talking specifically about the pens where we are now. I mean, just in general, where is the place that looks the least populated? Like, not going back to downwind, just
I
like.
was thinking of stalkers. Whoops.
Oh.
There are groks pens. The groks are docile. The stalkers are the things that are mad. For some reason, I got those mixed up in my brain. Fun.
Like down over by the caravan square? Is that relatively devoid of people?
It's significantly lower volume of people than by the pens, yeah. It's not devoid of people, though. There's still a very large amount. It's only 6 at night.
Yeah. Well, I just meant where can we head that has the least amount of foot traffic humanly possible without going back to Tax Place, which is technically still like an
The
urban setting.
cemetery, probably.